Mr. General Manager, Mr. David Hippolyte, Mrs. Will James, representing the Department of Fisheries, and Mr. Manfred Gillard, representing the St. Lucia Red Cross. Staff, media, personnel, thank you for being here this morning. Before I call the General Manager to do the welcome remarks, I will just want to, on behalf of the Minister, to apologize, and the Chairman, the Minister who is not feeling too well today. Keep him in your prayers that he feels better. And the Chairman has duties today and is unable to be here. We are hoping that other persons will be joining us. And we are told that our colleagues from SUFRE are on their way, and we pray that they get here safe. At this time, I would like to call on the General Manager to do the welcome.
Let me just welcome you again to this activity. We seem to be making it a habit these days, and I think it's a good habit to have. Today we are expecting to present with the St. Lucia Red Cross the certificates to persons who were trained over the last couple of months in first aid and C.P.R. It is something that we're very proud of, because it is a requirement actually in the agreement with the union. It has always been a requirement, but for some unknown reason it has not been able to, well, till now, take place. One of the things I know that was sort of preventing it is the money to do it. And I don't know if you know that, but it really costs, I think, $120 or thereabout to train one person, and there's an additional $30 for the kit for training. So that makes it somewhere around $150. But you would appreciate, with an organization that depends really on government for a subvention, it is a bit difficult with a staff complement of 104 to dig up the money to do it. But however, we decided to, with Ms. Cox, work out a formula, and with the help of the Red Cross, they nicely agreed to waive the fee for training, that is the $120. So all we had to do was to pay the $30 per person, which was a very good thing. So I want Ms. Gillard to convey to her manager and the rest of her team how grateful we are for waiving the training fee. In terms of the Fisheries Department, all of you, if not, well, most of you, if not all of you, would remember some time ago we collaborated with them in training on basically, like I would say, turtle management, how to manage adult turtles, their eggs, and the hatchlings. And I think it was very interesting, just as the Red Cross training was. And already it has borne fruit, because we've had 2 occasions since then to call the Fisheries Department with turtles in distress. Well, in the first instance, they were eggs and, well, hatchlings. And in the second instance, it was an adult turtle that appeared to have been, its head was taken off by a propeller of a boat. That's what we determined. And so it was headless but still alive. So those are 2 instances, and I think in the second instance, it was easy for one of our co-workers to identify the kind of turtle. So the training has really paid off. The other thing about the training as far as turtles are concerned, and also the Red Cross training, I think I would want you to appreciate the fact that we are part of the Ministry of Social Transformation, Community Empowerment, and Local Government. And I see this as tying nicely with the community empowerment area, because it's really part of community development. So those persons who have been trained can take this training as far as the turtles are concerned, and in your area there might be a beach where turtles nest, and you would be able to, if in case of an emergency, offer advice or help. In case of the Red Cross training, the emergency training, the C.P.R, you would be able to use it in your communities for your neighbors, your friends, and of course, your family. So I think it's a really good thing for us to have received the training. And I would really like to thank the St. Lucia Red Cross again and the Fisheries Department. Let me just also thank the government of St. Lucia because we get a subvention from the government. And these days, with things being so tight, it could have been more difficult to get those things going because it does cost money to do so. And so we want to thank the government through our Minister Dalson, for making it possible to give us the appropriate financial resources to be able to have this training done. We're just about starting that's good, I agree. We're just about starting the budget cycle for 2014-2015. Hopefully, our submissions will be approved for more training, and so that we can get you to be even more broadly trained. More recently, we've decided to change job titles from, say, beach worker and beautification worker to conservation assistant, and from foreman or forewoman or foreperson, which we were never sure of, to conservation team leader. And even at the office, general office, there are some job titles that have been changed. And that's simply, I think, to reflect the fact that your role is very, very important. I really don't want people to look at those roles as just another thing to go and clean the beach and all that. And whereas we've heard even at the training that just with the sea creatures like the turtles, if we allow synthetic material like plastics to get into the water, the turtles could mistake them or plastic for jellyfish which they feed on, and ingesting it could cause them to die, okay, or could cause their death. So basically you're performing a very, very important role, a role of trying to secure the health of St. Lucians and visitors, because we do have land-generated waste as well as waste coming out of the sea. And if we don't take care of it, the health of the nation, the health of visitors, would certainly be jeopardized. So I want you to keep up what you're doing. As I said, hopefully in the near future we will have more training. I know most of you are very dedicated workers, and you really do try your best, and we really do appreciate it. That is one of the reasons why we are here today. We'll continue to have the staff of the quarter, the staff member of the quarter for individuals, for teams, and for conservation team leaders. That is something I think I'm going to insist that we continue to do. It was never done in this organization before, so that's an achievement we can say we have under our belt. So I hope you enjoy the proceedings today, and God willing, we'll be back again to celebrate another training activity and quarterly awards. One thing, just before I go, I want you to remember is that the quarterly awards will culminate with the yearly awards, in that we will have a staff member of the year, a conservation team leader of the year, and a conservation team of the year. So you can look forward to this, plus some additional awards. So again, let me welcome you and enjoy the proceedings. Thank you.
Well, about now, we'll be calling Mrs. James to give a few remarks.
David Nicolette, General Manager of the NCA. Ms. Samantha Gillard, representing the St. Lucia Red Cross. Ladies and gentlemen, invited guests, staff of the NCA, good morning. The Department of Fisheries is always happy to collaborate with agencies in the execution of its mandate. The NCA is one of the agencies which the Department of Fisheries have in the past collaborated with. The department assisted in training. Part of the training that you did was the turtle training, and you have become an extra eye for the department, and we are extremely happy that we have those other persons to assist us. Let me congratulate the 57 members of staff on acquiring the new skills that you have C.P.R. and first aid is very vital, and you will not only be using it in your work, but it's also a life skill that you could use in your everyday life. Once more, I congratulate you all, and I wish you luck. Thank you.
NCA, KSA fait tout ça et puis ou ça nous pas là mais ça nous ka fait ça nous paie pour faire bail primaire bail moun bail c'est travail Madame James just essaie de n'importe ça ou essaie à prendre à présent. C'est pour ça, c'est pas NCA tout seul, ça servi la caillou, comme nous, tout partout aller. So, ailleurs où joindre organisation cadeau, venir dépousser pour apprendre, depuis c'est un bagage où ça, pour mettre en tête tout, pas non. Point. Parce que où ça, les ou quitter NCA, ou pas ça, font tête tout avec ça on y a dit d'ailleurs. Okay. Just to say that I am extremely pleased that we have finally gotten this done, like the general manager said, and that I have one little disappointment though, that some persons during the training opted not to do it, and we're not here to force persons, to force people to do things, but like I say, anytime it's knowledge, any opportunity you get, whether it's at NCA or anywhere else, you need to grab at it, because when you leave, nobody's going to take this from you. The fact that you're at the beach cleaning, your job is extremely important. Like I said to you years ago, and I still say to you, just imagine that you are not at the beach to clean it. Just imagine what this place would look like. Just imagine the health hazard. Just imagine how many people could fall sick. Just imagine how many livelihoods can be affected. Okay, so these are the things that you have to think of and learn to appreciate what you get and take it in and ensure that you use it wisely. And from time to time, you know, you can't learn everything. You can ask questions, you can read, you know, and I'm sure person's gonna be happy to assist you. I want to welcome Miss Yvonne Edwin, I just saw walking, who's one of the persons who assisted us with the Department of Fisheries for our training. And of course, both sets of training is for us very, very important. At this point, we would like to call on, we would like to recognize a few persons who contributed to making our training possible. Sometimes we say, well, persons are being paid to do a job, but sometimes we have to look beyond that, because some persons go really beyond the call of duty and do their utmost best to assist persons, and we need to always show appreciation for those persons who put all their effort in assisting. I'm Miss Yvonne Edwin, who has really worked with me on the fisheries training, the training at the Department of Fisheries, and who is going to continue, has promised to continue to work with us along with her department to ensure that other persons are trained and then that we can get involved in other activities, because there's a lot more that we can also do with the Department of Fisheries. As you know, that we deal with the beaches, and whatever we do can affect the marine life. On our last day of our training in View Forts, it kind of touched me that Miss Edwin was actually supposed to be starting her vacation on that day so she can travel, but agreed to come in to do the final leg of the training, after which she proceeded straight to the airport. You have staff who would say, I'm on vacation, let somebody else do it. So I think we need to give her a round of applause for her commitment, and I'm sure her department, of course, will be very proud of her. We also want to say thank you to the marine biologist, Miss Shana Emmanuel, who is not here with us. I'm hoping that she's going to join us. Also, who also worked very hard in assisting us, and to the Chief Fisheries Officer and other staff members who assisted us with this training. At this point, I would like to call Miss Edwin to come up to receive a certificate of appreciation from the NCA. also have a certificate for Ms. Shanna Emmanuel. Ms. James or Ms. James, can you collect on her behalf for us, please? The National Conservation Authority remains really proud and thankful and appreciative, and the list goes on, to the Department of Fisheries for their assistance. So on behalf of the organization, the minister, the board members, management and staff, we would like to say thank you, and the General Manager will now present a token of appreciation on behalf of the organization to the department. I want to say that everybody who was trained will be receiving a certificate. Everybody who was trained will be receiving a certificate. You must repeat the C.P.R and first aid every year, so hopefully next year we're going to get those persons who didn't write to write. And those persons who did not succeed at the exam, we're hoping that next year you will succeed so you can become certified. Okay? I will now be calling on persons to receive their certificate. I'd like to call on Ms. Gillard to assist me in doing so. keep reading the booklet. Remember, a booklet was given to you. Keep reading your booklet to refresh your memory as to what you were taught and practice only what you were taught. Okay, the successful child is the child of, incidentally, both parents work with us, is the son of Mistress Paula Murray and Mr. George Murray. Are they here? George is here? The son was successful and he attends the Castries Comprehensive School. The mom is not here, but the father is, so we would like to call Mr. George Murray, and we'd like to take this opportunity to wish young Murray every success. Let him know, Mr. Murray, our employee for the quarter July to September 2013 is Mr. Ephraim Etienne of Larry. Mr. Etienne, hold on, Mr. Etienne will be receiving a certificate and a $150 grocery voucher, and his picture will be displayed at the office.
Now we move along to the conservation team leader of the quarter. The nominees for the conservation team leaders were Ms. Teresa Edwina from Region 1, Picture Point, Mr. Walter Joseph, Region 2, Edgewater, Mr. Gavi Constantine from the roving team, conservation roving team, Miss Glendora Joseph, Kokodan Befort,
and the winner is Mr. Gavi Constantine.
Also won the last time, so that's
for the second time.
second time in a row.
Mr. Constantine will receive a $150 grocery voucher and his photo will be displayed at the office. We now move on to the nominees for the team of the quarter.
The nominees were from Kokodan. It was Kokodan, Vieux-Fort, Ansteray, the team from Ansteray, the Mon Lay-By team, the Choiseul team, the team from Pigeon Point, and the Conservation Roving Unit.
And the winner is Team Ancillary.
So the team from Ancillary, along with your come up here. Along with your field supervisor, Mr. Moise, Ms. Anne-Marie Gabriel.
Mr. Lancigo.
That's his, Mr. James Alexander, Miss Anne.
Hold on. Okay, here Mr. James Alexander and Miss Anne-Marie Gabriel will each receive a $50 voucher, grocery voucher, and their photo will be displayed. I just need to explain that Mr. Lancico just joined us recently, and that's for this reason we didn't have his name here. Hopefully in this, but he is part of the ancillary team, and Ms. Celia Moyes is the supervisor for that area.
Okay, let me follow by commending the NCA for such a laudable and significant effort. I want to also thank and commend the partners who worked with the NCA to ensure that this very laudable event became a reality, especially, of course, the Department of Fisheries for the training that you facilitated on behalf of the NCA, and the Red Cross, the St. Lucia Red Cross. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, let me hasten to tell you that the efforts from which you have benefited and which has culminated in today's activity is a very, very important one. It is very easy to build things around, but not very easy to develop our human resources. Yet, this is a very important activity, an extremely important activity for government, because we realize that our most valuable resource in St. Lucia is not oil, it is not diamonds, it is not rubber, we have none of these. It is actually our people, our human resource. Okay, and the role that you play is a very important one. Sometimes we might be led to think by the attitude of others, hopefully a minority, that the work that you do is not as valuable as any other kind of work. But anyone who is of that view, let me hasten to add, is very mistaken. The work that you do as employees of the NCA is extremely important work. You play an extremely important role. It is a role that entails the management of St. Lucia's valuable resources. You help to manage St. Lucia's valuable natural assets for the good of all. in this generation and in the generations to come. I have seen the evidence of the great work that you have done on some of our parks, beaches, and public places in St. Lucia. I am from Beaufort, and I have watched how the efforts of the NCA have transformed beaches such as the Sandy Beach on the Point Side. Okay, now this beach has become one of the most popular beaches in the South. And we must not underestimate the value of the work that you have done in bringing about this transformation. Because when families could come to the Point Sab and to other beaches which you have helped to maintain in the country and enjoy a nice family outing, a picnic, leisure activity, it is healthy. And we cannot even begin to place a value on that. Okay, so your role is an extremely important role. And I'm saying here this morning that you should be extremely proud of yourselves. Okay, and let me hear you applaud yourselves with vigor. You should be extremely proud of yourselves, extremely proud of the work that you have done. And I want to commend especially those of you who distinguished yourselves sufficiently to have attained awards here this morning. So let me hear it for you, for those who received awards. Very, very good. And I hope each and every one of you will be looking to emulating or to copying the good work of those who receive the awards. And I'm sure there are others too who have done very, very good work. Okay, but you know how these things go. We can't give awards to everyone, so we chose those who are perhaps most deserving. Okay? So again, I want to commend you very much. I want to encourage you to utilize your newfound skills in life-saving and first aid, C.P.R. These are very, very important skills. These are skills that can lead to the saving of lives, extremely important. Okay, and I encourage you to capitalize on further opportunities to develop these skills even more. Okay, again, I want to commend the NCA for a job well done, and more so a job which is worthy of emulation. What the NCA is doing here in trying to build the human capacity to build you up as workers, okay, playing a very important role, is something that ought to be emulated by other agencies and departments of the ministry, and in fact by the ministry as a whole. It ought to be emulated. Sometimes we are very punitive or minded in terms of punishment, but we also have to ensure that we give recognition where recognition is due. Okay, and this effort, I am in love with it. It is commendable. I am seeing a clear pattern. I don't think what has happened here today was just coincidence or haphazard. Okay, I think it was the result of clear and progressive thinking. Okay, you got training in C.P.R. and first aid. You got training in turtle management. Okay, and again, I spoke about the fact that you are the guardians of our natural assets. The turtles and other fisheries in St. Lucia are our natural assets, and they ought to be managed properly for our continued enjoyment of them and for the enjoyment of our children and our children's children. Okay? Then there is the quarterly staff awards. All activities meant to build you up. So I don't think they were haphazard. I think they exemplify clear and progressive thinking on the part of the NCA. I think I will leave it at that. Again, I want to commend you and wish you the very best in the future. Thank you very much.
When help is needed, and always follow instructions and be good to authority and good to everybody around.